My cousin lives in California. Same size apartment as mine, same habits, and her electric bill is nearly double. I checked the numbers because I didn't believe her. It's real. Why is electricity twice as expensive one state over?
Here's the federal data. This April, the average American home paid about 18.8 cents for a kilowatt hour. In California, 35.2, nearly twice the national average. And when people reach for reasons, they say fuel costs. Heat waves, corporate greed. All of those are surface. The real answer is a number almost nobody has heard of. It's called the rate base. Two dry words. But if you understand the rate base, you understand your bill, any utility, any state. So today we're going to look at the biggest one in the country and read the paperwork that feeds it. Last episode I gave you the formula that sets a regulated electric bill, the utility's costs plus a return on everything it has built. Today we zoom into the second half. The rate base is the built half. The regulator's own definition, the value of the long-term infrastructure it has approved. Poles, wires, substations, power plants, not expenses, property.
So it's like the company's net worth?
Closer to a portfolio. And here's how the utility itself describes it. This is from its own annual report, not from me. Revenue equals expenses, plus depreciation, plus taxes, plus, and here's the part that matters, the rate of return times the rate base. Everything before the last comma is cost recovery. The last term is where the earning happens. And this arrangement wasn't cooked up by a utility, it was blessed by courts. 1898, the Supreme Court says a utility deserves a fair return on the fair value of its property. 1944, the Hope natural gas case locks in the machinery for good. The bill you paid last month runs on case law older than the interstate highway system.
Okay, and the incentive problem from last time? Build more? Earn more?
At Virch and Johnson, 1962, if your return is set on capital, you lean toward capital. More steel in the ground, bigger base, bigger return. Hold on to that lean because you're about to see it at full scale. The biggest rate base in American energy belongs to California's largest utility, Pacific Gas and Electric, by the company's own investor materials, $69 billion in 2025. $57 billion regulated by the state. $12 billion more under federal jurisdiction.
$69 billion. So my cousin's bill is paying rent on $69 billion of poles and wires.
That's closer to the truth than most headlines get. Now do the multiplication with me. The state sets a blended rate of return for this utility, 7.61%. Apply that to a base of $69 billion, and you get a little over $5 billion a year. That is the return layer of the bill, before a single kilowatt hour gets generated. Part of that layer services debt, the loans, but the state fixes the split too. 52% of the base is funded by shareholders, and the shareholder half earns the richer rate, 9.98%, set by the commission this past December. Multiply it through, and the shareholder's slice alone is roughly $3.5 billion a year of authorized earning power.
Authorized? Does that mean guaranteed?
No, and the regulator is careful about that word. Authorized means keep your projects on budget, run the system clean, and you're allowed to earn it. Mismanage and you earn less. In fact, this company reported about $2.6 billion of income for its shareholders last year under that ceiling. The machine has friction. But look at what the machine is. A return schedule sitting on a pile, and the pile is what grows.
Does the pile ever shrink?
It could. Every year, old equipment depreciates out of the base, but new construction pours in faster. This utilities plan runs $63 billion of capital investment over 5 years, and it tells its investors the base grows about 10% a year, compounding. Faster than inflation, faster than your paycheck.
So who decides what goes into the pile?
A proceeding called a rate case. And one happens to be running right now. So let me show you the actual paperwork. Application 25-05-009, filed May 15th, 2025. PG&E asks the California Commission for $16.6 billion of revenue in 2027, an increase of $1.24 billion, about 8%. Then 6.1% more in each of the following 3 years.
What does that mean for an actual bill?
The Commission's own fact sheet does the math. A typical household pays $11.18 more per month for electricity starting January 2027, about 5%. And sitting right in the application, over $7 billion of new electric capital spending in that single test year. New equipment, new wires, new rate base. And one more line from that same fact sheet. This one deserves its own frame. As of September, the utility is requesting over $2 billion more from customers across 15 other proceedings. 15. The rate case is the headline ask. It is not the only ask.
Does anyone ever push these numbers down?
Yes, and it just happened on the other side of the multiplication. December 18, 2025, the Commission cut the authorized return on equity for all 4 big California utilities. 10.28% became 9.98, 30 basis points, gone. The utilities were not pleased.
So bills go down?
You'd think. Here's the Commission's own answer, nearly word for word. A lower return does not automatically lower customer bills. The real impact depends on which investments get added to the rate base. They turned the return dial down 1/3 of a point. Meanwhile, the base keeps climbing. The utility's own filings forecast capital spending rising from about $13 billion a year now to around $16 billion a year by 2030.
Turn one dial down, and the other one keeps spinning.
That's the machine. And if you want proof of which dial actually matters, watch what California's legislature did when it wanted to protect ratepayers. Not a price cap, not a rate freeze. A law, SB 254. Under it, $2.85 billion of wildfire safety spending is excluded from the utility's earning base. Read that carefully. The state reached into the formula and carved that spending out of the shareholders' earning base, so the work still gets financed, but it does not earn the shareholder return.
Because that's where the money actually is.
That's where the money actually is. When lawmakers want to move your bill, they don't argue about kilowatt hours, they edit the base. And that tells you everything about which number runs this system. So here's what I want you to keep. Your electric bill is not a price. It's an installment payment on a portfolio, a $69 billion pile of poles, wires, and plants, earning an authorized return set by 5 commissioners in a hearing room. The pile grows every year. The return gets reset every 3. And both of those decisions have a docket number you can go read.
My cousin is not going to believe any of this.
Send her the documents, that's why we read them. Next on this channel, uninsurable. Catastrophe bonds, what happens when Wall Street bets on hurricanes and why your insurance premium depends on how those bets pay off. And next on the Mater, the AI data center boom and who actually ends up paying for it. I'm Marcus Reeve. I spent 30 years reading the fine print.
And I'm Nora Vance, forwarding this one to my cousin.